Thanks for tuning in to TCEA Remote Learning. Remember that you can find other videos at tcea.org/remote learning. My name's Miguel Gulen. I'm a Director of Professional Development for TCEA. You can reach me via the phone at 1-800-282-8232, or of course reach out to me on Twitter at mglearn. So let's talk a little bit about our topic for this particular video. As you know, I've had a chance to chat with lots of folks about what are some of the big struggles that they're encountering when working in an online environment. And learning how to navigate Google Drive is one of those. So today's session is Revving Up, Accelerate Your Google Drive Work. So we're going to sort of cover a variety of topics here. And remember, you don't have to remember everything that we cover. But watch the video, pay attention to what time it is when you're watching the video, not the time, the clock time, but actually how far along in the video. Are you in the video 1 minute, 10 minutes? So that if you need to, you can always come back and revisit the content. So one of the problems that others have shared with me, it could be that they're having to use Google Drive in a way they haven't had to before. In the past, sometimes people just share documents. You open it up, you do what you need to do, and then you're out again, and you really didn't pay that much attention to it. But now that you're spending a significant amount of time trying to work in Google Drive, managing not only your own documents but also documents that others are sharing with you, it can get a little hairy. So a few of the other challenges that people encounter when they're first working with Google Drive is, what's my workflow? How do I get around in Google Drive? How do I print documents? How do I share documents? How do I drop video recordings into Google Drive or edit PDFs? Some people are getting email attachments and then trying to save them to their computer and then put them into Drive, and that can be a pain as well. So I guess the question is, how can we make it all better? One of the biggest challenges that people face when they're working in Google Drive is finding files in Drive, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But as you can see, this is what Google Drive's built-in search looks like. And the built-in search is kind of clunky. I mean, if I come in and I just type in remote learning and press enter, I'm going to get this drop-down list of content. So, I've got a lot of stuff there that I can check out. Sometimes when you're typing, it will also sort of give you like a bit of a pop-up, just like that. And you can see this is, just a pop-up. But that means I have to be in Drive to do the search. So another tool that you can use is something called Quick Search for Google Drive. And you don't even have to be logged into you don't have to be in Google Drive. You could just come up here to your tab bar and type in Drive. And as soon as I start typing in Drive, you'll notice that I get this message that says press tab to send commands to Quick Search for Google Drive. So I typed in Drive and I just pressed tab. And now I can do my search here. And it's going to give me that list of content. It's just a different way to interact. I get the same search results as you can see here. I'm jumping back between the two, and I don't know if you noticed, but there's no difference. But it is a different way to do things, and it might be something that you might want to try out and check out. You can get the Quick Search for Google Drive in the web store. As you can see here, I've also linked it. Another extension that's similar to that is OmniDrive, and it'll do something similar to Quick Search. So that's a big problem that people have, is actually just finding stuff in Google Drive. In fact, everybody has gone through this where they've dropped something into Drive or they've created something and then they can't find it. Some of a tip that I recommend for people is to be as descriptive as possible when you're creating a new document. So, for example, I was taking some notes on Weston Kieschnick's Bold School, where he talks about old school wisdom plus new school technology. And it's a great book. I do recommend it. But you notice I have this pretty much the whole title there, because if I'm going to do a search on Bold School, I want that to pop up. And you can see that's the same document that's popped up. I also have some other documents here that also show up for Bold School. Now, what you can also do is add tags to your new documents. So tags are like one-word descriptors that you can add, and I usually, will type in a title. This is my fake title, and then I'll throw a space in there, and I'll throw in some extra words. Let's see, remote learning. Drive Google tutorial. Okay, and so these extra words in the title sort of help send the message. This is something that I want to be able to find later. So if I can type in tutorial, and hopefully I'm going to be able to pull that document up. And you'll notice that right away I get a lot of different resources here. The first one, of course, though, is the one that I just made, and it's got all these extra words in it. Now, there is a way to get to add even more descriptions to your Drive documents. This can be a little bit of a extra work, but you can come over here to where it says add a description, and you can put some of your keyword searches in here as well. And now those words actually get added to the description. And again, let me see if I can do a quick search. And hopefully it finds that document. And you can see it pulled it right up again. Although it probably threw away the pound symbol. Now, if you're ever stuck and you want to do sort of an advanced search, you can click on this drop down, and you can see that you now have a lot more information that you can search on. So, for example, if I wanted to search for that document, I could come in and say, the type of it was a document. It's owned by me because I'm the one that made it. I want you to find it anywhere it might be, and then I know I made it today. So that's what did I make today? So then I click on search, and you can see that it shows me the documents that I've created, and there once again is that document that I've made. Now what's kind of cool is that it shows you what the search looks like. So if you wanted to, you could memorize this and actually remember it for later. So for example, let's say that you wanted to find all documents created on the 25th. Let's try the 21st. Okay, well, there you go. I'm getting a lot of the same documents. I think I was on spring break, so I didn't make any extra documents here. But this is just a quick way to tag documents that you're using and find them later. Another big deal is documents that are shared with us. And this falls into the shared with me. People will say, I shared it with you. Didn't you get it? And when you get a shared document, you're going to usually get an email. So you'll want to check your Gmail, or you'll want to check your Gmail. But if you go to shared with me over here on the left-hand side, you can see that there's a lot of different documents that have been shared. And so all of these are documents that I can choose to look at. and then open up. So if I wanted to see them and access them, I could. I don't know who, you know, let me see, find something here that's, here's a great presentation, I think, from Lisa Montai from Waco Independent School District, and using differentiation and formative assessment in blended learning environments. So lots of fantastic stuff here. So what happens with this? Well, it's shared with me, but it's not actually in my drive. You see right here where it says add to my drive, it doesn't belong to me yet. So if I click on add to my drive, it's going to save this document. It's important if documents are shared with you that you add them to your drive if you want to keep them. Otherwise, shared with me ends up being a folder where lots of stuff comes in, lots of stuff goes out, but it doesn't actually stay in your Google Drive. So what I like to do is when I find something that's really amazing, I like to go over and click on File, Make a Copy, because I want to keep a copy of this. And so you can say copy of the Kids All Right, and I would just say this is differentiation, formative assessment, Lisa Montai, and now I've added some of that, some of those extra words that I need to be able to use to find this if I do a search later on. So it's making a copy right now, and that copy will live inside of my Google Drive. So when I come over to my drive, somewhere in here it's going to say copy of the Kids Are All Right, and there it is. You can see there's that file that I just made a copy of, but now I can share that file with other people, and this one is Lisa's, but this one is actually mine. So if I want to, I can make adjustments or changes to this and modify it any way I want. I can come in and completely delete slides or add speaker notes, and it's not shared right this time. It's private only to me. It's my copy. It's my sort of the copy I can use to make modifications to. So that's just some quick points on the shared with me component. I've sort of taken some screenshots here for you, so you can notice those. But one of the other things that's great is that you can right-click on something and add a shortcut to Drive. Shortcuts are wonderful because you can organize them and put them anywhere you want. So if you created a shortcut folder, I'm just going to make one real quick. Let's see, I'll put an underscore shortcuts to critical docs. Okay. Then I click on add shortcut. And hopefully what's happened is if I come up here, I now have this folder that says shortcut to critical docs. This is kind of cool because this means that I can sort of create an organization or organize my documents and then put them into a neat place. So this is a shortcut. It's not the actual document. If I delete the shortcut, it doesn't mean that I'm deleting the original. It just means that I can quickly find something. And this is like one of the major complaints that people say when they're starting out with Drive is, how do I find stuff? Well, make a shortcut to it, put it into a folder, and it'll be easy for you to find, and then you can go from there. Another thing that you can do is you can come in here and change the color of your folder. And some people actually put emojis into this, and I'm not actually going to do that in this session, but you're able to add or put emojis into your folder so that they jump out at you and catch your attention. On the TCEA Tech Notes blog, we've got a blog entry that explains how to do that. My colleague Diana Benner has a great resource on that. So here are just some quick ways to organize your Google Drive, and I actually have a longer video that you can watch that sort of will prepare you for the Google Educator Level 1 exam, but also walks through a lot of this stuff that I'm sharing with you now. So I definitely encourage you to come back and check out these resources and watch them. But one of the things that people tend to do is they create tons of folders. They make lots of folders and they put them all over the place. So just think about how you could organize yourself. And you can see here that I have, of course, my shortcuts folder. I have a backup folder, a shared stuff folder, and each of these are sort of like huge buckets of content. So I put tons of content inside of each of these because what I noticed is that if I create a folder with lots of little folders, let me see, this might be a good example. You can see I have some example folders here. If I go into, I don't know, let's see, Google, it's almost like really going down the rabbit hole. You can end up going down deep and then there's only one thing in that folder. Well, what's the point? What's the point in having 3 folders down and only having 2 things in that folder? It makes it harder for you to find, and I would recommend that you collapse all these folders and just put them inside of a Google folder. So everything here is related to Google, so move it all up into one folder, and you can always take advantage of the search options to find things. Now there's a lot more that we could talk about, but these last 2 pieces are sort of like homework that you can explore. This one's printing Google Doc files, and I talk about the Cami merge tool. There's a blog entry that you can read that gives you all the details on how to do this. Sometimes people want to convert everything that's in their Google Docs into a PDF and print it. So Cami will allow you to do that. Two other common issues that sometimes arise is that people want to save emails to Google Drive. I don't know why, but they do. So it's very easy to do that using Cloud HQ's solution. This video will walk you through that, and if you click here, you'll get to see the extension that will help you. And then others want to save email attachments to Drive. So whenever they get an email message that has an attachment, they want it to save automatically to Drive. I like to be a little bit more purposeful about that. I like to save things myself so I know where I'm putting them. But if you need to do that, if this then that, this if TTT should be able to help you out. You just need to find the right recipe to accomplish that. Thanks so much for watching this quick video on sort of getting yourself organized with Google Drive. And I hope that you'll visit us at tcea.org/remote learning. Remember, if you have questions or you get stuck, you can certainly reach out to me. My Twitter address is @mglearn. My email is mgulen@tca.org. And again, if you need to find more videos that address remote learning questions, go to tca.org/remote learning. Thank you so much for watching this video and joining me for this session.